Hey guys, fellow skeptics, Lester here. Going to cover what I have been working on since yesterday. And that here, you're seeing my Thunderbird email client window. Particularly how I try to utilize DavMail. I want to see I can give you something pretty clear about what I had done. I want us, or I would say I recommend going, once you have DavMail installed, you are going to want to go here, particularly as it informs the various Office 365 modes you can choose from within the drop-down choices available. I, in my experience, had to work with modern, interactive, manual. Don't recall if I had to use Office 365 BWS mode. However, I was running into some connectivity errors and items like that. I looked at this and started with auto just to see what it would get me. And eventually, I was able to choose corresponding options. I'm going to just point out what I was able to use here. So based on that, I ended up going with modern. Now, amid the authentication process, at some point, if it's properly done, you will be just be sure you have the Authenticator app, and it's specifically the Microsoft one. Can't use the Google Authenticator, not for the way the Office 365 authentication works. You need to use the Microsoft Authenticator app. Also, once it's properly linked with that, you will get a page redirect asking you to provide DavMail permissions. Sorry, I can't demonstrate that, but you'll see a request, or should see a request page saying DavMail, you want to give access to DavMail for these and these and that. And you just say allow. That means things are working or should be able to work. And once you do that, especially after going through this part of the setup, that's one piece of the equation. The next thing is calendar. Once you got calendar set up, then you're going to go to the address book if you want to do that. Calendar didn't seem as bad. I just made sure I followed these instructions. With address book, mainly right here. This is how it ended up looking like on my side. I created an address book and I put in the properties like this. And then part of the reason why there was a previous question raised about why I stick with Slackware, even though I did go back to the Linux world via Ubuntu. I just found Ubuntu a little too easy for my liking. If I needed easy, I would have gone with Mac to start. Having used Macs and still use a Mac on a personal level and for work, it's easy to take for granted the building blocks or the building process for any application you want to download and install. A lot of the dependency reconciliation is done by the various package managers within the greater Linux world. Depending on what distribution you have, you're not going to worry about reconciling it on your own. But at the same time, it does teach you about the process. It does build up your patience. At least that's the hope anyway, because there will be frustration. It's just that I've come to appreciate what it takes to build a program so you can use it on your computer. You get informed about each of the dependencies provided and required, and why that dependency is so important to that particular program. And so, yes, there's plenty to download and install and build, but it makes you learn Linux, and it makes you get down and dirty about what makes it go. You know, if your goal is just simply run an alternative Mac and Windows, okay, install something like Ubuntu. And if you're not looking to unlearn, because part of the learning process is unlearning what you already know, that way you can come to appreciate the logic behind Linux, especially in the command line. That is probably the number one reason why I did stick with Slackware after all this time, is that, like I said about many times over in other videos, I can make it as easy on myself, or I can make it as difficult on myself. And you know, even though I use a Slack Builds website, it shows based on these results. It's not 100% foolproof, but it's as foolproof as one can have it. Part of the reason why I went this route is because I'm not going to complain about the extension I've been using for a while. Let's go to the tools and add-ons. I've been using this one for a while, and see if I can bring that up. This is this is strictly a Thunderbird extension, and as you can tell on the purchase page, it's only $11 and change per year. The only thing is, when I exit out of Thunderbird or I have to reboot my machine, there is always a chance I had to reset up my integration. Now, on the other hand, the integration is smooth as long as you log into your Outlook for web and plug in the web address and your credentials. It will immediately recognize the modern authentication process in place. So it doesn't take long. It's just that I didn't like having to do that all the time. And also, if you have multiple Exchange accounts, if you're not careful, the cost can add up between maybe $30 or $50 a year. Now, if you can foot that, great, more power to you. But at least for ones not wanting to foot even that $11 and change, at least you have an alternative through DavMail. But anyway, I am just relieved. And that's just something that I get to experience when I may have frustrating moments as you're trying to get things to work. There's something to be said when things start coming together and you struggle and you come out the other end A-okay. And that is another reason why I stick with Slackware, because I don't know if I'll get that. I don't know if I'll get that high. Not that I'm outrightly looking for that. Not that that's what I'm like. I'm a thrill seeker, but it's just something that you get to experience, or at least in my mind, that's something to experience. It doesn't matter if we're talking computing, martial arts, or athletics. It's just something, the feeling is just different. At least that's how I'm going to take it. Alright, well, like I said, fellow skeptics, until next video, peace out. I'll catch you on the other side, and always feel free, drop a comment, a question if you got it, and I'll be more than happy to look at it, see what else I can cover on your behalf, and take it from there.